Okay. Okay. Oh, I've got to bring up the presentation. Yeah, what am I doing that? Cool. Okay, how was timing?
11. Exactly.
Yeah, guys, we're going to jump in. So you'll notice that we don't have Brenda or Natalia driving this, so we're actually going to give it a go ourselves. So that's a little bit of a change up. So I'm going to apologize in advance for any technical issues. And then we are also, those of you who are using your awareness value, you will notice that the presentation team has expanded somewhat. We are now, we got myself, Carl H, Yopi, Alan, and Michelle, each going to jump in on their specific area of expertise to update everyone. The only one that I'm a little bit, that I'm kind of pre-warning everyone is Yopi. She's currently up at SNL with Roddy and the team and Dion and the team. So hopefully her connectivity is good for when she jumps in and deals with the operational update. But if it isn't, then I will carry on from her. Okay, so just to remind everyone, this is our March family meeting. We are going to have one in April, which is, it's kind of, we haven't found our rhythm yet. We were doing it kind of every 2 months, but I see that Carl and his amazing team are wanting to do this every month. So we'll still set a date, but we'll do that right at the end of the presentation. Theme for the year, just to remind everyone, look within and make it better. I think I'm not going to labor that point. I know it's up on various notice boards and that kind of thing, but the key opportunity is just to look at what we do, who we are, even within yourself, within your department, within your responsibility, and strive to make it better during the course of this year. As I am trying to drive the presentation, as I explained, there may be a few technical issues. I'm wondering if I can not drive it while I'm sharing, which is going to be very interesting. Got on my PowerPoint screen. There we go. All right. Thank you. Nicely, I have a technician in the background whispering in my ear what to do. There we go. Okay, cool, guys. Just to start with the purpose and values. The focus value, I'm going to read it because it's always good to onboard things through repetition. Our purpose is to create opportunities and experiences for people to enrich their lives. So remember, that's both for our guests as well as ourselves. So as I spoke last time around the culture of growth, growth for me is really important because it keeps us relevant, but more importantly, it keeps bringing us opportunities for you guys to step into, to grow, to develop. I'm touching a little bit on the growth conversations that are permeating into the organization, like super important. I'm getting really positive feedback in terms of that conversation, in terms of management and reporting structures, learning about what individual wants to do with their career within the collection. So the reason for growth is to create opportunities for yourselves, and then amazing, enriching, life-changing moments for our guests, which our incredible operational team, inclusive of reservations and Kingsby's team, do continuously every single day. The value focus for this month is the strength in our diversity. So as I have mentioned, the marketplace this year, and as you guys will be seeing it, both at property, where you've got busy periods and a little bit quieter periods, certainly reservations kind of see it before it lands at the property, but we're in a very indifferent marketplace. We've got all sorts of things happening out there. We've got the Far East, which is opening up. So that's a new big global region which is opening up for our international travelers to consider. They're very aggressive on their pricing and on their marketing spend. So they're going to be disrupting our market a little bit. We've also got East Africa. And those of you who don't remember, Tanzania came out with a statement that they, of course, did not get COVID-19, which was actually impossible, but that was their statement by their authorities. So what happened is the world naively said, okay, well, if they don't have COVID-19, we're going to go there. And that's what happened in Tanzania, and it spread to East Africa, not the virus, but the guests. And they have retained that market share. So we thought it was going to swing back to South Africa at the end of last year, or Southern Africa, but it hasn't. And that momentum within East Africa has continued to grow. So we're in for periods which it's going to be a rocky road this year. So we need to be cautious. We've certainly taken that into our planning around our budgets and our capital spend. We are still luckily moving forward. We are continuing to invest back in the business, back into you guys. We're continuing to invest in internally to make ourselves better. And that also, again, speaks to the theme in terms of look within and make it better. So we may not be, although when we do cover the operational side, it does, even though I kind of say we must be cautious, we are still doing a lot of good things. But looping back to the marketplace, and our value focus is strength and diversity. You need to know that in this business, we have all different types of talented people from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different cultures. But in that is our strength. So if you look, a lot of our business is in safari. And if you look at the perfect balance that occurs in nature, nature is completely diverse, from animals to trees to vegetation, soil types. But ultimately, all of those different components all contribute to a perfect balance and a very robust structure. It's exactly the same with us. We tend to think, one person, a whole team of the same people are going to create a better result, but it doesn't. And our best classroom to witness all of this is in nature, where it's perfectly balanced. And in that is such diversity, and that is their strength. So use that kind of analogy of what you see out in nature, which we have a lot of amazing products that do, that apply that to us as a business. And you'll understand that every single person in this business, every single one, it doesn't matter where you sit, left, right, up, or bottom, you're important to the overall strength of this organization. And in that diversity, we're going to get through this year better, stronger, and a good few steps ahead of our competitors. So that's the important thing to remember in the value of strength in our diversity. As I always like to do with the family meeting, I always like to welcome our new family members. We have 23 new family members who have joined the collection since the last meeting. I think our last meeting was last month. Yeah. So 23 members in the last month have come on board. Please remember your first time when you started either in the collection or any other environment. Remember, it's quite awkward. Remember, you don't know anyone. Remember, you're anxious about your job. You're anxious about performing. You're wanting to do your best. But so remember that emotion. Remember that feeling. When you come across any of these new individuals, just be a little bit generous with yourself. Be aware of them. Be generous. Include them. Make them feel that they're part of the family. I know that if when you guys started with something, it really does make a difference, and it brings us closer together. Again, it makes us stronger. So welcome to Siyabonga, Gina, Taitan, Stibalalwe, Marvin, Moritz, Jabulile, Ellen, Nokuzola, Courtney, Brenda, Bronny, Cleric, Graben, Ninka, Conningham. Jeez, sorry guys. I was never great at English, so no disrespect to the name. I'm just like, plus I'm not wearing my glasses. Conningham, Ernest, Michael, Tony, Ntsako, Mbulelo, Wodri, and Manus. Guys, welcome, and girls to the family. Remember, all of you existing members, please be aware of the new members. Help them out, make them feel comfortable, get them settled, and make them feel part of the family. Great to have you with us. I am now, from a presentation point of view, I'm going to hand over to Helen, who, as you guys know, heads up the sales side of the business with her incredible team. So over to you, H.
Thanks, Rob, and hello, everybody. Nice to be able to chat to you in this forum. I just wanted to reintroduce you to our different departments and some of the changes that have taken place. Within our sales team, we've actually had a few movements and growth that's taken place. So the first one I want to highlight is Sasanda, who moved into the international team. She also moved to Johannesburg about 10 days ago. So she's made the big move from Cape Town to Joburg. We're very excited to have her with us. So she will be looking after the West Coast of America, as well as the West Coast Canada and into Asia. Yiska heads up our sales team, so she helps keep the team together. She also has her own markets that she looks after, which is UK as well as Europe. And with the changes that happened, the entire sales team have looked at new markets and are taking on new responsibility. So there's lots of growth and excitement in the department. Miguel is our other international sales manager. He looks after the East Coast of America and Canada, Mexico, as well as South America. Our two regional sales managers being Pearl and Shailene. Pearl is with us in Johannesburg and Shailene joined us in Cape Town. So we literally have two Cape Town representatives and the rest of us in Joburg. Tuli, who was with us before, has come back in the role of special projects. So she's the one who assists the sales team with putting together some of our campaigns that we do, as well as our trade shows, the amazing events that we've had. We wouldn't be able to do it without Tuli's help, allowing the sales team to still sell and Tuli to be able to do a lot of the organizing. And then, of course, one of the most important is Andrea, our go-to-girl. So sales teams traditionally are out on the road, they're on sales trips, they're hosting agents, and we wouldn't be able to do it without Andrea in our Joburg office. Then just in terms of, I got it.
Yeah.
So just in terms of how we make it better in 2024, there has been the trade have started to come back into the office. However, there's still a lot of people that are working from home, which as a salesperson, it makes it quite difficult to go and call on a client when you only have 3 people in the office where usually there's about 10. So what we've done is looked at how we do things differently this year. There's still some core activities that we will continue to do because it's the one place that we do get to see them face to face. But there's new initiatives like our webinar. So the first one is on the 3rd of April, where Rob and I will be hosting, talking to the trade about where we're going, what we're doing, some of our values, and then talking to the trade about what other subjects they want to hear. Family travel, food experiences, our conservation efforts and community efforts. So that will be the first, and we probably have another 3 or 4 coming for the rest of the year. We're also looking at increasing our virtual connects and training. To go over on an international trip will take you probably about 2 to 3 weeks to plan the trip, then to go on the trip, and then to be able to see these agents. We only do those trips probably about 2 to 3 times a year. In between, we're now having virtual training as well as connect, so we can get to see our agents a lot more often. It is the one good thing that came out of COVID is that we realized it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it's very easy to connect. We're also looking at putting together property videos, training videos. So literally having somebody walk through the property for any of our agents who haven't had the opportunity to come and visit us before, or ones that want to do a recap on any of the changes we've done, where there is a training video where they'll literally be able to walk through the property. Another big focus for us is hosting site inspections. We have agents who spend time and effort to come to South Africa, as well as to Big Falls, giving us the opportunity to spend some time with them outside of the office environment, where we get to understand their business a little bit more and how we can work together to get more bums into our beds. Then in terms of trade shows, the 2 big trade shows are in Durban and We Are Africa. They happen in May, literally a week apart. And those ones bring out probably about 200 appointments we'll be doing over that period. What it also does is it brings agents to our properties. We have some hosted trips, which is where we've put together itineraries. Agents are paying probably about $2,000 to come on these trips. The other ones will do any kind of trips pre or post the shows to come and have a look. So ops, get ready. There's going to be a flood of international agents coming your way. We will, I promise you, have all the sales handouts for you. We will have the material. We will also be able to give you an idea of any of the talking points that we will have so that you never feel that you're not aware of what we're doing, because we need to be saying the same things between the trade shows as well as on the ground. We also, very exciting again this year, we're a host hotel for We Are Africa, which means that during the We Are Africa trade show in May, we will have 30 agents experiencing the property. We're also going to have a function at the hotel anywhere between 60 to probably 70 people at the hotel at Upper Union, where again we get to showcase what we're about. Our agents portal is a very important part of our world. It is our communication tool in terms of getting to the trade, so people know where to go to find our information, images, as well as videos. We are, with the new system, going to be able to facilitate online bookings. That is one of the big asks by the trade, is that when we're sleeping, so because of the different time zones, our American clients are awake while we're sleeping. They want to be able to make bookings. This will facilitate that for them and will put us ahead of our competitors in terms of agents actually being able to make bookings and confirm to their guests immediately. Again, just focus markets for us. Our family is obviously a very important market for us. Family travel is definitely on the increase. We have the most perfect properties for family travel, and what we're going to be doing is looking at pushing those products to our agents. Kosher as well. We have the kosher kitchens at both Lion Sands and at Maritaba. And for us to be able to start talking to that market who are looking for that kind of cuisine. Solo travelers, looking at it as a solo traveler, not a single traveler. A lot of people travel solo because they prefer to do it, not because they have to. LGBTQ plus is another one of the markets that we haven't been able to look at yet. It is an incredible growing market for us, and we will be focusing in on that in 2024. Then just, again, an out-the-box way of doing things, getting people to Navarre. So Navarre is our property in Stellenbosch. We got a day together with 150 people, thanks to Alan and his team, who arranged to have 150 of our agents coming out. The way we did it differently was we got them to come on a Sunday with their families to come and experience the property. It is a residence, so it is for families to come together. And a lot of the agents are saying it was the best site inspection they've ever done. They were there with their families. They could sit and relax and also show their families what they do. So this is definitely setting the bar, and we'll be doing a few more of these. I'll look out. Oh, okay, Rob, no, it's not working.
Yeah.
Okay. Then another one of the highlights for us, one of the things about getting people to your property is you have to have a property in the right area. You also have to have a way for people to get there. You can have the most amazing property in an area where you cannot get to. It's going to be very difficult to sell. So with Federal Air, they now have launched a route between Madikwe and Maritaba. So guests can fly from Johannesburg to Madikwe and then across to Maritaba and then back to Johannesburg again. This allows guests to be able to easy access the property, as well as being able to do those perfect combinations between Madikwe and Maritaba, because they're both malaria-free areas, so they do tend to attract families. If you can't access Maritaba, so that's the key. It's the flight between Madikwe and Maritaba. It now allows people to not have to choose another destination to go for their second safari. Yes, I'm getting there. Then one of our other direct or our other sales team is our direct team. So this is the team of individuals who deal with our direct customers. The direct customers are the ones that actually help us understand what's going on in the market. They let us know what the trends are. We can see whether they're confirming quickly or they're not. They're looking for big itineraries, which properties they're looking at. So we have 6 African travel specialists, and that again is the team that do the sales. They're also the team who make the reservations on the system. They're the team who make sure that the guests, every single dream comes true in their itineraries. We then have one African travel specialist who focuses on our journeys clients. Now, those journeys clients are the ones who are agents who don't want to deal through MFCs or any of the wholesalers. They want to deal directly. They want a person within our office who they can deal with, but then also look at booking additional properties, so third party. So ones that are not in our fold, maybe they want to stay in Johannesburg, maybe it's another one of the properties, maybe it's Mozambique. So Petronella is the one that looks after those direct clients for us. So this team is headed up by Kingsby. Within his travel specialist, he has Liesel, who lives in PE. He has Bongi, who lives in Cape Town. Ash is his right-hand man and ops manager. We have Kuda, who's in Johannesburg, Chanel, who's in Cape Town, and then we have Andili, who's also in Joburg. So really nice that everybody's spread around. We get to see our clients in all sorts of different areas. A big focus for the concierge team this year is on our systems. So making sure that the team have the right system to take down time in processing and allowing them more time to sell. on our people and the training of our people, as well as lead generation. We need, if the leads don't come in, our team aren't able to process. So there's a big focus on that. We have an implementation of HubSpot, which is a database system which we're currently using in sales. Allow us to track our inquiries better and also allow us to go into Safari Portal, which is an amazing itinerary builder. We also, as I said, the training and development of our people is most important. We are African travel specialists, and we need to make sure that they have seen and understood as much as possible to be able to sell to our direct guests. Again, I mentioned the lead generation, which is an incredibly important part within our role. And just moving on to one of the other departments, our reservations team. So without the reservations team, the phone can ring and ring, but if they're not able to put those bookings in the system, being able to clear the space, making sure that guests have everything that or the agents have everything that they need, we would not be able to do what we do. So Crystal moved into this role in November last year, assisting the reservations team. Again, focus within the team is definitely on systems, making sure that the system is not slowing the process of the reservations, also allowing quicker in terms of the turnaround time, as well as making sure that the provisional bookings are confirmed, and if not, then released to be able to make space for the rest. We also are a revenue manager. So revenue is a huge part of our business. If we don't understand where our revenue is coming from, how we can anticipate, where we can see where any of the gaps are, we aren't able to do what we need to do. So we are looking for a revenue manager to be able to assist us in doing things just better. We are also looking for an additional reservations consultant to join the team. So we have Tanya, who's our supervisor, who assists assists Crystal. We have Candice, who's our systems manager, who's about to have a world of system on her. We've got Nomsa, who's our incredible after-hours consultant. So she works from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 11 p.m. at night, facilitating any inquiries or bookings from our international agents. Narcisa Obakeng, Palesa, who joined us in January, Tim, as well as Warrant and Daisy. We've also reallocated accounts. So the way that we do things differently to how some of our other clients do it is we have dedicated reservations people to our agents. This way, the reservations team understand their clients, what they're looking for. Some agents want a lot more information. Others don't want much information. So this way we can make sure that we're talking in the same language as our agents. It'll mean that they'll want to talk to us first before they phone any of our competitors. And then just an interesting stat to let everybody know. In 2023, our reservations team made a total of 24,302 bookings on our system. That's a lot of processing time. And hopefully with our kind of focuses going forward and in terms of our sales team, we'll be able to make sure that those 24,302 convert. And so do you.
Go quickly. Right. Morning all. Great. So we can go straight into the marketing section. And there are a few things that you will hear us double up on in terms of how we're supporting sales or other parts of the business. But as a key focus for the year ahead, as I'm sure most of the collection would be aware, marketing has gone through some significant changes over the last 6 months. And we are proud to showcase our organogram on this slide in terms of the key specialist roles that we have recruited and who will be joining us. Of who can be communicated through based on what, but very exciting for the year ahead in terms of the key roles that will be joining the collection. HubSpot, as mentioned, has been integrated into the business within March. We are moving into phase 2 in April, which is putting us well in line with the other systems that are coming as well. In terms of webinars, this is very exciting for us. As you can see, that it's a family first. So H did mention and go through it in terms of how they are looking to make it better within the sales world. But what is important in the marketing space is that we align to the sales world so that the efforts are kind of supporting and aligning to one another. So as you can see there, the image component of the graph is the family meeting. Our strength is in our partnership. And I think that's quite an important narrative to just touch base on there is the family meeting webinar is not just a webinar that we want to talk about ourselves again. We've actually come up with a solution where we can engage with our target markets and our audiences in a way, in a forum that they find more palatable. So it's very much our strength is in our partnership. The more that we can equip our agents with information and vice versa, the better both parties will become. Training videos, a very exciting one. This is a new format that we're bringing in. Concept phases have already been approved. So I think the big one here is operations teams on the ground. Be aware that when a gentleman, Francois Ferry, is coming to properties, this will be something included in the agendas for his trips. And if you can just respond generously in terms of what we're trying to achieve on those trips, that would be super beneficial. Exciting for the SNL team. So introduction of a botanical, the forest dwelling orchid has been introduced in terms of a botanical itself, and it is currently in the rollout phase to be brought into property by May. So the next month we'll be rolling that collateral out and bringing it onto property. Just some simple basics in terms of looking within. So a big frustration across a lot of the collection in terms of users on their Macs, or their laptop, should I say, in trying to use certain fonts and the difficulties in doing it. So just simplifying it a bit better. There will be a changeover of fonts for practical reasons and for branding look reasons. We will be moving across to the Aptos font in April, but you will get an email from Olivia, my marketing team, who will outline exactly the whys, the hows, and the whens as to what we're going to do there. We've got the IT teams on standby as well to support us there, so very limited downtime for any individual. I've noticed, it was a bit of a... There we go. I've noticed in the last couple months frequent questions coming from various different departments in terms of where can I find imagery, or how can I find imagery or fact sheets or anything pertaining to one of our properties. I just want to use this time to remind everyone that we do have a online portal, the trade portal, where we have all of this content housed. We do try and keep it in a very simple folder structure, so it should be easy to find. What we are asking in this space, though, is content that may not be there. So if you guys are looking for specific images, that is where the marketing team can come in and support with our next field visits, is to actually make sure that we get those additional images in as well. So please, it's not just a system where you guys can go in and get information from. Please use it as a tool or a system to also feedback to the marketing team to say, I think we could be adding these images, or a lot of people are asking for these types of images. What can we do about it? Where on our website, we will send out a link as well, just so that it is easy to find again. But just as a reminder, that system is there for all to use. Some of the very important moving parts, and you can see there very much bolded and in red, 1st of July deadline. And I think this is a very important deadline to work towards, because there are some integral new systems coming into the collection, being Res Request, Tall Order, and Sage, mainly under the CMS, PMS, and financial modeling components. But what is important there is, guys, everyone, please be aware the 1st of July is a hard deadline, fast approaching. So please, your managers and relevant parties will reach out and bring you in. But if there are any questions, please use the next 6 weeks to kind of ask and figure out exactly what that is, because it is fast approaching. Focuses for the year. So yes, looking within and making the team structure stronger and better. But a core focus for the year ahead is not only building the team, but actually aligning that team to a sound strategy that will allow us to benefit our website and social media channels over the next year. So how do we put more focus and strategic thinking into those platforms to ensure that we're maximizing on the results? Coupled with that, in building a team and a strategy, is ironing out our lead generation team and systems. MFC business units this year in a different way. Exciting new task management systems in the space is Rike. We have been using that for a few months now. That is quite simply to simplify and streamline siloed departments so that we can all towards common goals together. The trial is working out very nicely, and as soon as that trial period is done, which I think is in July, we'll be able to provide some feedback to the business in terms of next steps and decisions. And super exciting space for this trialing and systems angle is an intranet that we're looking at deploying into the business this year. An intranet, obviously, just as a simple analogy, it is a centralized platform to help streamline communications and keep teams centrally aligned. So the intranet would be a tool that will allow all of our various parties at different properties, hotels and lodges across the world. I know at the moment it is very ring-fenced to certain territories, but in an expansion period, it allows us to branch globally as well. Automated reporting, so super excited with that. We are already reporting through our Power BI initiatives, all digital metrics coming through into single dashboards, which allows us to make informed decisions in terms of where spend is going, which markets are we trying to penetrate, and what does that return look like on the business. Thank you, guys. I think it is over to you.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Yeah, just to tag on to what Kyle's saying, if anybody else gets as much anxiety as me as the amount of times the word new system has flown around in this meeting, this year is very much a year of looking at all the systems that we've got. What software do we have in place that is currently not optimal efficiency to make our businesses' lives easier? And we're looking at all our systems not as a way to say how can we further complicate things, but how can we make the work more streamlined, more efficient, and less reliant on Excel spreadsheets that relay the information between the different properties and support office. The aim of all of these systems is hopefully by the end of the year that we get to a place where we can all be as efficient as possible, where the system can tell us what is happening in our operations without us needing to do a lot of manual work to get there. But it is going to take a strong commitment and a lot of trust from all of you to let us roll this out. I know Lee Atkinson has already started reaching out to quite a few individuals on properties to gather information. We're going to meet next week. Our project plan is in place. We have a committee that's going to meet regularly to make sure that all of us talk to each other throughout the process and make sure that we include all of the links. Another area that is active in our world is Andy was integral in setting up for us a MFC guide standard board. So the purpose of the guide standard board is to set the gold standard in the guiding industry by promoting continuous growth and professionalism. Moore has an incredibly special brand of field guides, and we have always been exceptionally proud of our brand of field guides, and we want to continue further developing them and make them proud of being part of our team. It also incorporates the field guide colleges and ensures that from base level, the lodges and the college are aligned in what we're doing with our guides development. We are hoping to have high quality service, entries into the Safari Guide of the Year competition annually, and FAGASA accredited mentors and assessors. The board is made up of Andy, Francois Fourie, Mark Broodryk, Rian Fourie, myself, and Candice. So quite an immense amount of industry background that contributes to them in the form of all the highly qualified guides, and it has added immense value to our lives. Who can switch? Who's controlling? There we go, thank you. End of budget season. It has been a wild, crazy SA budget season. But the end is literally in this week as the various last budgets get signed off. We've been able to confirm the improvements that will be happening on our properties in the coming year. And our focus very much is not only on improving our guests' life, but it's also on improving our staff experience. As you all know, each of these projects are very much reliant on what a business can handle at each stage in its development, but our focus is continually on ensuring that our touch is as strong back of house as it is front of house. Marataba, what we're doing in this year for back of house, the biggest upgrade is that we're creating offices for the chefs, the guides, and HR. Anybody that knows the Marataba back office knows everybody sits in a group in a corner with the GM off in the side. And we just want to create some purpose-driven areas for them to be able to do their work in. We also continually upgrading and repairing the staff accommodation. We have added aluminium fly screens and heat retardant paint and all kinds of interesting things to just continue to make the staff lives better and ensure that their living conditions are appropriate. Front of house, we have a new bush dinner venue sorted with a bathroom facility. We are upgrading the bathroom facility at Miss Mara this year. It is a massive guest touch point, but creating a soft impact area for the guests. We are adding trees around the pool area at Safari Lodge. There's been some great upgrades done at the pool over the past year. Now adding the last touches, which is the trees to create shade. And then we're working on upgrading the eco garden. Marataba's kids and family experience is absolutely pivotal for the guest experience. We want to close off the building, create some insulation, add air conditioning, just create a comfortable space for the children. And then over the long term, allow different levels of interaction in the experience as the budget allows. Can do next slide. Thank you. Lion Sands, Sabi Sands. The past 2 odd years, Andy's been working exceptionally hard on a Star Village plan. There's a 5-year town plan for Star Village upgrades at Lion Sands, Sabi Sands. The first block that has received good attention over the past financial year is the guides block, which was recently upgraded with quite incredible facilities if you compare it back to what guides had access to 5 or 6 years ago. That continues in this coming year with the construction starting on the central Star Village. Front of house, we are adding a separate entrance and a bathroom onto suite number 2, one of the river suites, which is a family suite. We experienced a massive amount of damage during the start of 2023 during the floods. We need to reinforce the riverbank in front of River Lodge. The spa pool got damaged in the same flood, so we do need to rebuild the spa pool. We're also then making exciting upgrades to our Fish Eagle residence. We are incorporating a fire deck, a wine cellar, and then a private service kitchen for the teams to be able to step away from the guests. And then continuing to add trees to strategic locations, especially the entrance of Ivory Lodge, where we've lost quite a few trees over the years, just re-establishing that area. Thank you, Kyle. Lion Sands Kruger National Park. On a back of house aspect, we have been doing a lot of work on the Narina Star Village, following on the Tinga upgrades. There are some remaining projects outstanding to our village, then also starting to rebuild the station house after the fire last year. We have been able to wrap up the insurance processes and approvals, so the rebuild can commence. On the front of house guest side, we are all working exceptionally hard to secure the Jakkalsbessie and the other tenders that we would like to take over, the new tender for December 26, but also continuation of the Jakkalsbessie concession tender. The new Tinga Spa build is in progress with a completion date of June. And then we are looking to start the Tinga residence around January 2025 for completion during the year. Hotel Stanley and Livingston, we are having some conversations with the Arjuan family to secure the expansion and development budget for the year 2025, where we would like to add additional rooms, a spa, and a gym, which has been in discussions for extensive periods. Thank you, Kyle. Before I go to Milkwood, just Cape Town. The Cape Town properties have been through an incredible amount of building over the past 3 to 4 years, and it's time for the business to settle and for the layers to be added and for the industry to calm down and accept that we're no longer building in these busy blocks. So this year is about just cementing the experiences that have been created. Additional work that we are doing is in creating professional office spaces for the team, converting the area upstairs, which they are currently using, and creating some private meeting spaces for the staff to be able to interact with their managers without any fear of being overheard. Milkwood Hotel, the team have been working exceptionally hard at securing development and planning for our opening in November 2025 in time for tourism season 2025. And that, I think, is over to Alan now.
Thanks, Yofi.
Thanks,
Good
Al.
morning, all. Yeah. Morning, all. I'm excited to present on 2 points, an update on residences and an introduction into the Impact Fund strategy. So starting with residences, we're excited to introduce a new residence at Maritaba. The residence will be known as the Maritaba Residence and will form part of the residences collection. The residence is situated close to the Maritaba Gate. For those who know the reserve, it is about 2 kilometers in from the Hoopdal police station. From there, you'll enter just opposite the conservation office, about 2 kilometers in towards the river. It's situated along the Matlabas River. The property is absolutely beautiful, situated on the river. It consists of 4 luxury tents and a main area, dining room, lounge, outside deck, pool, boma area, and a jetty for water safaris. All rooms and guest areas face onto the river. Even though it is set up as a lodge, it will be operated as a private residence. Bookings are all on an exclusive use basis. The residence will be run by the team located at the residence, who ran the residence before we took over. It used to be called Founders Lodge for those that are familiar. I've met the team there. They're incredible. They are an incredible team that lives to similar values that we do at More Family Collection. The residents will have all of the relevant touch points, residence butler, concierge, private vehicle, dedicated guide, and all of the touch points that we are used to, the Mac and Maddie offering, welcome notes, bubbly, and canapes on arrival. So yeah, excited to bring that into the collection. Looking into the future of residences in 2025, as Yopi touched on, we're planning on building another 3-bedroom residence at Tinga. It will be situated on the side of the lodge close to room 1. Room 1 will actually form part of the new residence, but a beautiful offering with pool, deck, and will incorporate a kids' room as well. I'm constantly looking at opportunities for the residences collection. I'd like to bring 2 more residences into the collection over the next few months. I'm looking at Atlantic Seaboard, so something in camp space situated in Cape Town. I'm looking at Plettenberg Bay, I'm looking at Madikwe or anywhere else, but constantly looking for an opportunity. Moving on to the next slide, I'll be focusing on the impact strategy. What I would like to achieve today is that you just have an idea of what the impact strategy is about. It is relevant to your world, and the message is going out to the market. So guests could be asking you about it, whether you're cleaning a room, whether you're serving a table in the restaurant. So it is relative to your world. Today will just be an intro into the strategy and what it is about. There will be property visits to explain how it relates to your specific property and world. So the impact strategy is the shift from how the group manages its sustainability strategy. We have termed it the Impact Fund strategy. The reason for the change to the strategy is due to the realization that we have an opportunity for these funds to have a broader reach across our business units. To put a framework to this, we've identified 4 pillars which are on the screen to shape the strategy. The 4 pillars is health and well-being, resource sustainability, education and training, and investing in local community. The Impact Fund is funded through 3 different channels, the guest conservation contribution at Lion Sands, the Impact Levy, which is charged to each guest bill. This used to be termed the Sustainability Levy. It's now going to be referred to as the Impact Levy going forward. And a portion of the net profit of the business is the 3rd channel. The committee overseeing the Impact Fund consists of Yopi, Sifiso, Rob, and myself. As we unpack the pillars mentioned above, we identified the opportunity for this fund to have a more direct impact on all of you, our people, our guests, and our businesses. So I'd like to do a brief breakdown of each pillar. So looking at health and well-being, health and well-being is one of the key focus areas. We know that there are challenges with healthcare being inaccessible in remote locations, especially where our businesses are located and where our people are located. So looking at that through the Impact Fund lens, these are the type of engagements we are looking at. Nothing's confirmed. This is just an idea of how we will be kind of shaping it. So we're looking at things like expanding on the Mistral medical offering. Can we have wellness days on site at the properties where your family members can possibly come in and also get a health check? We'll be looking at medical aid options more relative to the teams on the ground, medical aids that get you access to the doctors, gets you childcare, gets you medication. We'll be looking at mobile clinics that can come out to the property and service over there. And we'll be looking at mental wellness initiatives. Looking at the next pillar, resource sustainability. Our dear Eskom, we recognize that the instability of our national grid has led to our dependence on what we term dirty energy. So we depend a lot on diesel in our generators being a major one. This will have a negative impact on the brand in the future. Also the uncertainty of future water supply from our government. So as a committee, we're looking at expanding on current initiatives in place to assist in setting up our business for a more sustainable future. We would look at the inclusion of solar at the properties that it doesn't exist at the moment, expanding on our current solar systems, installation of heat pumps and water conservation initiatives. The next pillar is education and training. This is building the talent of all of you, our people, and not just building the talent for our business, but building talent in a way that the lessons can be taken home and shared with your family and friends and your surrounding communities. An example of this would be sustainability training across the group, with lessons for you to do your job in a sustainable way, but also you can take these techniques home and practice them at home. We'll also use a portion of this fund under education and training to meet our BEE codes and objectives and provide bursaries to the colleges in our group and perhaps others as well. The 4th pillar is investing in local community. The purpose of this is to invest in communities surrounding the properties. And it's as simple as looking at if there's a need that can be fulfilled through the surrounding community, instead of ordering those items through large suppliers, we can look if we can do it through the community perhaps. So if vegetables or a certain vegetable can be grown in a surrounding community, supplied to a lodge, then we'd look at supporting that initiative. So it would be building the community while also supporting the business needs at the same time. So these 4 pillars sum up the impact strategy. I hope that you got a basic understanding of what it is about, but feel free to reach out to me if you'd like clarity on any of the areas presented. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I think next is over to Mish.
Yes, thanks, Alan, and hello everyone from Nelspruit. You'll see I'm sitting here with V. I'm sure if you see my shirt, you can understand why we're here. We're doing fundraising and planning for this year's Extra Mile and our next golf day. Lots happening in the foundation, so I just wanted to highlight what's really the biggest impact. And definitely this March, it's been our annual golf day. I don't know if the slides pulled through, but we hosted the MCF Golf Day on the 8th of March. It was fully booked. We had 144, and all of our holes had activations on from different sponsors, and just a very super impactful day, lots of fun and very successful. So thanks to everyone who volunteered. I know we had a lot of the guys from office that climbed in. Thanks to the Field Guide College, More Family Collection, and More Orchids, who all got involved and gave back through that. So appreciate that. I just said, you know, we're preparing for the extra mile this year. It's going to be a doozy. It is the 7th one that we are hosting, and we are hosting it on the 7th of September, so 7 for 7. We're also hosting an extra mile golf day this year, which is new, which will be hosted in Nelspruit on the 14th of June. So the guys at Lion Sands that are keen on golf, just give us a heads up. We're currently rolling out a new enterprise program that's receiving funding from Federal Airlines, which is quite exciting. And we'll share that once it's all complete. Today, Minnie and Norman are rolling out an activation in Woodlands, hosting a group of doctors in the community who are attending to community needs. So I know they're probably not attending this Connect, but please share thoughts with them. It's going to be quite a big impact. I think there's almost 50 different doctors that are going through. And then the last kind of big update is MCF is spearheading and chairing a sustainable development strategy for the communities and conservation projects within the Sabi Sands and Greater Kruger. So phase 1 and phase 2 is already complete, and we'll share more information once that strategy is finalized. But just again, thanks everyone for all the support. And if you have any questions, just give us a shout out. I think over to you, Rob.
Thanks, Mish, very much. Right, cool. So I know, look, I'll sum up some of the points at the end. So let me just keep going through the presentation. First of all, on our people, Warren, Europe, and I are working on developing a whole new training plan for the collection as within the team. Look within and make it better. This is an area that you know, I'm really focused on wanting to develop a kind of North Star on the training plan. So just know that we're busy working on that, and we'll hopefully start communicating what that looks like over the coming weeks and months. But that's a project that we're busy with. And then I do know that the growth conversations have been happening. As I said, started with me about 18 months ago with the leadership team, permeating deeper into the business. As I mentioned earlier, super powerful way of having a conversation with your peers, your superiors, to identify where you want to go and where the collection can meet you on your journey of career development. So really important to make sure you are having those conversations. Remember, be specific with them. I was chatting to the reservations team yesterday. I meet with them every quarter now, just myself and them. And we had a conversation around the growth conversations. And my contribution to it was, be specific. You know, you use that. If you don't know about it, there's a very simple acronym called SMART goals. You can Google it. The information is there. It's a very easy way to understand how to progress. Personally, from a career point of view, you set your goals around certain behaviors and thought processes, but you bring that into the growth conversation. It allows you to set targets, make them measurable, loop back on feedback, and then progress or understand why you didn't progress. So just an important behavior that we need to get better at as the weeks and months tick by. Some other cool new developments within the kind of support function of what we do. So the support office function is, we have opened up a little office in Cape Town. So I know Alan has really headed up this whole process. It's taken him a very long time to kind of navigate the commercial rental corridor within Cape Town, but he's got a super cool space. The guys have been in there. I'm sure the More Quarters and Cape Karagan and Upper Union operational teams are delighted to not have the sales operational team hanging around. But they now have their own address. It's a really funky building. It's right next to Nando's, which is a very important benefit for their location. But it actually is just super close to the hotel, probably 200-300 meters away, so a 5-minute walk. But that's nice for us to, if you are in Cape Town, pop in, use it. It is there. It's got a meeting room, Wi-Fi, all those kind of things. So nice to have, nice for us to have a finally an office in Cape Town. And then the Johannesburg support office. For those of you who've been here, there was a, just looking out across the office at the moment at the building on the other side of the street, which is number 16A. She's been neglected for a very, very long time. We were able to, Andre very kindly helped in, Andre and C helped in securing her for the collection. You know, as we're growing and as we're adding more seats to the support office team, we've wanted to, you know, we've run out of space fundamentally. So this is opposite. Again, I've already said it, but this is opposite to the existing support office on the other side of the street. We have acquired it. We're busy with plans running through council, and we will commence upgrading, I think, during the month of April. Andy's going to be involved in running that project, and hopefully move in there. I think it's about a 3-month timeline before we move in there. And the 3 functions that we're going to use that space for, Europe, I think it's just Europe at the moment in the operational team, but she's not going to be alone. Warren, I know, in the HR team are considering moving over there. And then we're also going to improve on our logistics hub. So we currently got the truck. For those of you who don't know, there's a truck that runs between Johannesburg and Lion Sands twice a week. And poor Joel, who receives and orders and everything in the support office here, has this horrible little corridor. He's got to move everything down and back and all of those kind of, it's just really not ideal for that kind of operation. So the logistics, so this new building will also become the kind of logistical hub, which will be much easier from a truck parking, loading, offloading point of view. So that's, again, within the theme of look within and make it better. I mean, this does require a bit of an acquisition and an upgrade, but we're really wanting to improve on how we do things. And this is going to really help on just creating a little bit more capacity in Joburg, plus vastly enhance the logistical operation between Lion Sands and Josie. And maybe we can plug in Marataba if there are benefits to link that into the logistics as well. So that's happening in yeah, those are the 2 kind of office upgrades. As you guys know, we always end on Q&A, and this is a space which I don't tend to get too many. So just while I'm going to look to Olivia to see if there are any questions that are being posted in the chat box, but while she has a look there, I just want to go back. I know that there was kind of not great reception, or certainly in the Joburg office, from Alan when he spoke about impact. If you do have any questions specific to that, please reach out to him, as he offered. All this information will also be summarized and posted on all the notice boards, the recording of it, although I guess the reception won't help on the recording, but the impact strategy, direction we're going in, and investments we're making will be a constant kind of point on within the family meeting. So you'll be able to see what we are doing in terms of impact as a business. But Alan is heading up the impact strategy for the collection. So if you've got any questions around that, please reach out to him. And then just going back to in AH's section, trade shows. I know this time last year, I know you know the gig, and you know that it's really important, and we always emphasize it. I just want to say, I know that every single guest and agent and human that visits our property is important, but just so you know, an agent or an operator has the ability to influence a number of people to come there. Their business is to send people to our property. Where the guest has a social media network to influence maybe 1 or 2 to come to our property. So I don't want to make agents the commercial impact on our business by hosting and blowing the socks off a guest is very measurable. And it's a really important. We've also learned from a support office point of view, from a sales point of view. And I mean, Cape Town in particular is going to be inundated, as they always are, because We Are Africa happens there, and I know it's tiring, and I know it takes up a lot of time on your day, but just think, if you are going to play a marketing and sales role in collectively impacting this business and moving it forward and making it better, it is hosting your agents and your operators and giving them the absolute best show of what we do and how we do it. It really is very, very important. Cool. Questions? We have 2 questions. That is unbelievable. Yeah, that's 200% more than the last time. Love that. Yeah, I'm ready.
So the question is, where is Milkwood?
Okay, so shame. I first of all apologize to UOP, because this is a project that I've quietly been working on, and UOP got thrown the slide to present on. So Milkwood is an opportunity that crossed my inbox at the end of last year. Let me just check the time. How's that? Oh, we're running out of time. I'm going to keep my answer short there. It's in Plettenberg Bay Garden Route. So this will be a beach hotel. We don't have one in our collection. And this will be targeting a slightly different market to our lodges, primarily Ireland, UK, Europe. It will be seasonal, so it'll be September through to April. But we feel it's an incredible location based in the kind of Franschhoek is the capital of the winelands. Plet is the capital of Garden Route. So a beautiful location, and we'll be still got a long way to go, but in Plettenberg Bay, beach hotel for our collection.
Cool. Second question of achievements.
So a time, gee, man, there's so many, but a time that immediately comes to mind is the pandemic. How we pivoted, how we got through, how we worked together. There were casualties. We know that there were retrenchments. Not everyone made it through the pandemic, but in terms of a moment in our 22-year history was our behavior, our responding generously, our communication. I've never felt more kind of connected, more inspired, more proud of a community of people as how we navigated the pandemic. So more of a moment and a behavior rather than an event or an award. That's my answer to that one. Cool. 2 questions. That's progress. Let's next time let's make 4, guys and girls. So next meeting, we haven't set it up yet. It will be in April. We'll look for some dates. Put it this way. I hope it's going to be in April, but the thing with April is that we're starting to move very close to those trade shows. If we don't find a reasonable time for everybody, we will move it to the end of May. But let's hope we can do April and then again May. Because I mean, and also just looping back to our value for the day, diversity, strengthen our diversity. I must admit, for me, outside of having to speak for 60 minutes, I really found everyone jumping in and speaking to their area of expertise was excellent. The energy was good. I thought the detail was better than I could have presented it. So definitely a classic living example of the strength in using a diversity of people to contribute to the family meeting. And with that, 2 minutes over time, I'm going to close out and say cheers. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll hopefully see you in April. But if not April, definitely May. Cool. All right. Ciao.
Well done. That was very good. Very, very good.